Hi, my name's Ron Neff. I'm here to talk to you about the U.S. Constitution. Now, you may be wondering, who am I? What are my credentials? And that's a good question to ask. Basically, I'm just like you, except I've done something that you may not have done, and that's made a point to learn about our government and about the Constitution. And that's what I'm here to advocate that you do also. First question we should probably look at is, why do you need government? Why do we need government? You perhaps heard the saying, if men are angels, no government will be necessary. But if you follow the news at all, it's rather obvious. We're not angels. We need something to restrain our natural tendencies towards mayhem or to being so self-centered we would hurt other people to get what we want. So that's the purpose of government, is to give us an environment whereby we can all enjoy our own individual liberty without hurting someone else. So what is the purpose of government? Well, basically that's it. But we have it spelled out in two documents. First of all, the Declaration of Independence. The purpose of government there is to affect their safety and happiness, meaning we the people. To affect our safety and happiness. The preamble to the Constitution makes it even more clear. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So that's the purpose of government. Okay? What is a constitution? We talk about our Constitution. What is a constitution? According to Black's Law Dictionary, the 6th edition, pardon me while I read this, the organic and fundamental law of a nation or state, which may be written or unwritten, establishing the character and conception of its government, laying the basic principles to which its internal life is to be conformed. I'm sure you followed that, but just to make it very simple, the Constitution tells what the government can and cannot do. That's why it's so important, because our government is not unlimited in its power. The Constitution is there specifically to limit its power, and we need to know what those restrictions are as a government functioning within it. Why do we need to know that? The Constitution is in effect our owner's manual. It and the Declaration of Independence set out certain limits, beyond which the government is not to go. I served in the military, as probably many of you viewers have, or perhaps are still serving, as well as anyone who's ever worked for the government. We take an oath, and that oath is to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. How do we know when someone is an enemy of the Constitution if we don't know what it says, if we don't understand what it's supposed to be? Thomas Jefferson said, "Anyone who desires to be free and ignorant desires something that never was and never can be." Go back a little further. Let's go back to Plato. The penalty good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Edmund Burke, who lived from 1729 to 1797, said, "The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing." In the book of Hosea in the Bible, chapter 4, verse 6, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." But it's our government. They are people of this nation just like us. Why do we need to watch them? Don't they have the same desires, the same concerns, the same cares that we do? George Washington made the comment, "Government is not reason. It is not eloquence. It is force. Like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master." See, to go back to what I said earlier, if men were angels, we would need no government. Obviously, we're not angels. We need government to restrain those tendencies that we all have. However, the government is made up of people just like us, with those same tendencies, those same flaws. And we have chosen to give up some small part of our liberty to them to help create an environment where we can all live free. You've probably heard the quote from Lord Acton, "Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely." That's where we could find ourselves if we don't watch the government. See, we're not even taught our form of government in school. I'm sure most of you know that we have three parts to our government: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. Did you know there's a fourth part? The critical part? It doesn't even appear in the Constitution as a separate form of or part of the government, but it's absolutely essential to us maintaining our freedom. The fourth part is us. We have the responsibility to monitor the government, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do and only what they're supposed to do. If we don't watch them, nobody will. And I don't care how good a man's heart is, how good his intention is, or a woman's, once they get in a position of power, the tendency is to seek more power. We have to watch them. We have to make sure that they're staying within the boundaries that the Constitution sets. If we don't, we can't assume that anybody else will. And it's critical you understand this next statement. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights cannot protect your rights. As our current president is rumored to have said, it's just a piece of paper. Bottom line, he was right. It has no armies. It has no power in and of itself. Its power comes from the fact that we know what it says, and if our politicians or our bureaucrats start exceeding the power that it gives them, then we need to elect new representatives to get the government back under control. The Constitution in and of itself has no power. We have to protect it. It can't protect us. And if we aren't protecting it, it will soon no longer exist.